Welcome to Nerdy For, the podcast where we find out what people are nerdy for. In this episode, I interview my friend Sammy Eastwood, and then she interviews me back. We talk about Sammy's absolute passion for the Real Housewives, all of them. It's we do a deep dive. You'll have a Ph.D. in Real Housewives after this episode. And then she interviews me about my addiction to costumes, and it's pretty embarrassing, but I hope you guys like it. Hello, welcome to Nerdy For, where we find out what folks are nerdy for. My name is Amy Brown, and I'm here with Sammy Eastwood. Sammy is a Georgia Tech graduate and is a full-time cat mom. She has an honorary degree from Bravo University in Real Housewives of all of it. She loves all of them. Mm-hmm. And her therapist suggested she go to the Harry Potter world for her mental health at the age of 21 years old.
That is true. Thank you. My name is Sammy Eastwood. I'm here with Amy Brown. We are filming in the costume wing of her home, which is something you only have if you are in a certain tax bracket. She throws Broadway sing-along parties but cannot read music. And she recently had portraits painted of her and her husband as characters from Bridgerton.
Because we're classy like that.
So classy.
Bridgerton is the poor man's Jane Austen. All right, let's go. So we are here to ask Sammy what she is nerdy for today. Sammy, what are you nerdy for?
Today I am nerdy for the Real Housewives.
Heyo. No, I've actually never watched very many of them. So you're going to have to start from the beginning. What made you fall in love with them?
Okay. So I was out of college. This was probably like 2018. All of a sudden in the middle of the night, I was dying to watch Jersey Shore. Okay, stick with me.
It happens.
So I had to figure out where I could watch Jersey Shore. So I got an account on Hulu. Watched Jersey Shore, quench that thirst. And then I was looking around Hulu and I saw, what's this like Real Housewives thing all about? Started watching it and I've never stopped. So first Real Housewives, so I think there are 10 U.S. cities. First Real Housewives came out 2006.
I'm taking notes. 10 U.S. cities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First one came out in 2006. It was the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Oh, it was not New York first?
No.
Oh.
Orange County. OCOG. And it was loosely inspired by Desperate Housewives.
Oh, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know they filmed that where Leave It to Beaver was filmed?
I don't know what Leave It to Beaver
is.
Oh
my gosh. Shut up. You're too young. Okay, so it's in Orange County.
Yeah, Orange County. Why I love it so much, I think this is a hill that I'm willing to die on, is that The Real Housewives is one of the best reality franchises that has ever been on television.
Okay.
Because I think it is actually real. I try to watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but I can't stand it when these girls say, after knowing someone for 45 minutes, I think I'm in love.
Yeah.
Have I done the same thing in a frat basement in college? Yes, but it never worked out.
Right. Yeah. Is that beer goggles?
Yeah, beer goggles, beer confidence, beer everything. But people will say that the reality, the Real Housewives are scripted, but there are some things that cannot be scripted. Like people going to jail is not scripted. Someone's husband getting deported is not scripted. Some of this stuff is very, very real. I read that the cast members all have to sign a contract saying they will not sue each other for anything that happens on the show.
Well, and probably is it a non-disclosure agreement as well?
I think something like that. They can't talk about the show until it airs or something. Yeah. And
they can't sue each other. Can they sue Bravo?
Well, so they can get around it. So if they break their contracts with Bravo, then yes. I mean, Housewives have been sued. Bravo has been sued. With they send each other cease and desist letters, and all of that comes out in the reunions.
Okay.
Which is incredible because in the reunion, they really break the fourth wall. Mm-hmm. And they just go at it, and they'll say the producer told me to do this, and this is what I was doing behind the scenes to make sure that this happened. And it's yes. So they'll manipulate, but it's real because sometimes the private things that never come out on TV are even crazier than what's going on screen. Mm-hmm. So let me give you an example of the most ridiculous thing in Real Housewives. Do you have any questions up to this point, Amy?
No, my mind is blown though. I didn't know how deep we were going until just now. This is deep tracks.
This is deep tracks. So like this is the argument I will bring up when people say that Real Housewives is scripted. So Real Housewives of New Jersey, obviously in New Jersey, everyone's going to say mafia. Everyone's going to make that assumption. And they fought a lot, the Real Housewives, to say, no, there's absolutely no mafia ties. Well, spoiler alert, there are. So in the first season, there are two sisters, Caroline and Dina.
Okay, what year is this? Hold on. Because we started in Orange County, now we're in New Jersey.
Orange County. So New Jersey was after, it was Orange County, New York, and then New Jersey.
Oh, okay. And then New York and then New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Okay, is New Jersey the one where the lady has no forehead? She's got like a 2-inch tall forehead. And like her husband went to jail.
Oh, yeah, Teresa.
And then and she like pulls. Flipped a table. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it called the Teresa flip? Does it have a name, flipping the table?
I think they might call it Teresa flip because I think she was the first one to flip a table.
Okay. I wonder if there's like a code word for that, like hashtag.
Tamara Judge was the first housewife in Orange County to throw wine at someone. Aviva Drescher was the first housewife in New York to throw her leg at someone.
Oh my God.
She's an amputee. So her prosthetic was flown.
What have I been doing with my life that I haven't been watching
You
this?
haven't lived yet.
I've been like watching my children grow. That's stupid. I should have been watching people throw their prosthetic
children
legs.
Will leave you. The Real Housewives will not.
You're right.
Okay.
So we're back to New York. We're back to New Jersey. We're in New Jersey, and it's the actual mafia. Okay.
So Caroline and Dina Manzo are sisters.
And these are the...
No. Well, it's that city, but this is not Teresa.
Okay.
So Caroline and Dina are sisters. They are married to brothers.
Oh.
Albert.
Keep it in the family.
And Tommy. Yes.
In the family.
Dina and Tommy get divorced. Very common on the Housewives. Dina starts dating. This is so before, or I guess she's still on the show when her and Tommy get divorced. But then after that, she's no longer on the show. So all of this is going on behind the scenes, but parts of it get brought up on camera. So Dina starts dating after her divorce. Her ex-husband, Tommy, hires a hitman with mob ties to beat up Dina's boyfriend.
Oh, charming.
Yes. In exchange for a discounted wedding reception at a venue where Tommy part owns.
It wasn't even straight up cash.
Is this... Wait, so he hired a hitman and is on TV and then hired a hitman on, or do we just kind of imply...
Well, so that is never brought up on camera. The only thing that's really brought up is Caroline and Dina are no longer speaking, but they won't say why.
Jesus Christ!
And you eventually find out it's all of this happened, and then Caroline writes a letter on behalf of Tommy in his court case when it comes out that he's hired this hitman.
This is all making my stomach hurt.
But
I can't handle it. It's real. I know, and that's the part I can't. This is where I start watching it, and my stomach starts hurting because I'm like, this is not how you're supposed to be a nice person in the world.
The Real Housewives is not about being a nice person. It's about being real, and it's about acting on your impulses.
Yeah, impulses all the way. Joel, did I introduce you? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but hey, everyone, I'm the producer, Joel Ruiz.
Yay!
It's God.
God, Mike. Okay, so the mafia hitman, and it wasn't even for straight up money; it was for a discount. How New Jersey is that?
I know.
I'll get you something wholesale.
Yeah, for his daughter's wedding. Yeah, no, I mean
that shows how expensive weddings are.
Yes,
you're willing to go to jail to just save a little money on it.
I mean, imagine with inflation, how many weddings would it cost to get a hitman?
That's okay. It depends how famous the person is you're trying to kill, but it'd be that's 8 weddings worth, or 1 Kardashian wedding,
one wedding and 1 divorce party. I don't know.
Oh, a divorce party.
Statistically, they're probably not going to make it.
I love throwing parties. I might just get a divorce so I can throw another party.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh wait, my husband pays for them all. Never mind.
But so that was a real issue that happened with the people. Yes, part of it, it wasn't all shown, but these people are crazy.
These people are crazy. They're slightly unhinged, possibly. Mm-hmm. And they're putting it on television.
Yes. A lot of times people come on television and will immediately get caught. And I always think, why didn't you think about this before you signed up for national TV, like Jen Shaw, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Second season, Homeland Security comes on camera to arrest her.
Oh my gosh.
Is it because of stuff that she did in the first season?
No, it was apparently they had been building a case against her for like years. And then I don't know if her being on TV expedited things, because Teresa definitely thinks that she was made an example of when she was sent to jail for, I think she was sentenced to 15 months, just because like they're in the public eye so blatantly committing these crimes, I guess. Like for Teresa, it was bankruptcy fraud and all of this. And all she's doing is talking about the things she's buying and paying for it in cash and all of this stuff. So I think that might have expedited things with Jen Shaw. Is like she's living in a chalet and she has a staff, which the Shaw Squad. And you just like, you don't understand. And the fact that it only took one season for it to blow up. It's like, why didn't you think about this?
I wonder if I've seen twice now where it's people who have been married to famous people and then they're going through a divorce, or they know they're about to go through a divorce and they're like, uh-oh, I have to get famous myself so I can make money.
And those are the most unhinged housewives because they know they've got to get asked back for the next season. I mean, Lisa Rinna is married to Harry Hamlin.
Oh, yeah.
So he's on like Mad Men, and I don't know. I don't really care about him. I care about Lisa Rinna. I won't say unhinged, but I am a fan.
Well, she's also an actress, though.
Yes.
She was like famous before.
Yes.
She was on a soap opera.
Yeah. So she makes, I think at this point, she makes $500,000 an episode.
She's got good negotiators. She's got good lawyers.
Good negotiators, and she brings it to the show.
Agents, yeah.
I mean, she brings up Denise Richards sent her. So Denise Richards is an actual famous person, had nothing to gain by going on this show and everything to lose.
Denise Richards was on Real Housewives?
Beverly Hills.
Oh my gosh.
So she was on there, I think 2 seasons. And at the end of the second one, something was brought up and she did not like that it was brought up on camera. So she sent a cease and desist to, I think, all the other housewives. And Lisa Rinna brought it up on camera and said, why did you send a cease and desist? And you can just see Denise's whole face. Oh. Because I think they send a cease and desist and they also assume that they will cease to discuss the cease and desist. I don't really know how law works. But so, yeah.
So if you're a celebrity on a scale of Dancing with the Stars to Real Housewives, like, is it... Because you want to, if like you're a failing celebrity, you do Dancing with the Stars, right?
Well, there's a crossover.
Is there?
Many Real Housewives have been on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
I think Dancing with the Stars has like a substantial financial winning, doesn't it?
Do they get money, or do they get their face on the television?
I don't know why I know this because I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. It's not that I'm trying to hide that I watch Dancing with the Stars, but like it all goes to a charity of the winner's choice. So there is a substantial prize where it goes. But you go on there to reignite.
Okay, yes.
Your famedom.
Your famedom, or your weird shit like one of Trump's like press secretaries.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, no, I'm thinking Rudy Giuliani was on Dance Off.
Dance Off.
Or Mask.
He was on Mask. Once again, I don't watch any of these shows, but I just know it's fucking zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Betty, the one lady who just passed away, Betty White got like famous just again from a commercial, right? The Snickers commercial. Then she came back and got some more roles and was on SNL.
She's always been famous.
Yeah, I don't think Betty White I think probably just showed Gen Z Betty White was always famous.
Yeah, she was like,
her.
Yeah, hold my earrings. But what I was also going to say, this last season of Dancing with the Stars was great for me because it had Teresa and it had Vinny from Jersey Shore. So my two loves.
Oh my gosh, did you supernova in your panties?
I was just so excited. My two loves together again.
Okay, so let's get your street cred, because you're talking a lot of shit, and I don't know. Right. I'm teasing. I don't know if people need to know how invested you are, like how much you've done with this.
With the Real Housewives?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've watched all episodes.
Okay.
Every episode that has aired in the United States, I have watched.
They have them in different countries?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So they have one in Dubai, which airs in the United States, but then they have one in Johannesburg. They have one in England. I think they have one in Australia. Like, it's worldwide, baby.
I would watch the one in England if they do it exactly like the Great British Bake Off, and everyone's just like, no, let me help you. No, let me help you more.
Okay, everything I've said, what makes you think that would happen?
I can't take it. My tummy hurts. I'm gonna get a cyst.
And I think part of the reason why I like the show is because I am not like these women, but I want to be. Like, if someone sasses me in a restaurant, I'd love to flip a table. But I don't, because you're not supposed to.
Put a hand grenade in Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, well, that's too far.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so I've watched all the episodes.
Okay.
And then
Will you do really quick, like the vocabulary terms I need to learn? Like, I heard RONY is...
RONY, Real Housewives of New York.
RHONY.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What other kind of tags are there?
I don't know. I'll have to think as I talk.
Okay.
Because it's just become like part of my normal vocabulary.
It's your vernacular.
Yeah.
You're fluent.
And then my other street cred is that I went to BravoCon this year, 2022, by myself. I bought an SVIP pass.
Treat yourself. Go, girl. Go to New York by yourself to be a nerd.
I was there from like 8:30 in the morning at the convention center until like 6 p.m. And then I would get dinner either by myself or like quickly with a friend for an hour. And then I would go to a taping of Andy Cohen has Watch What Happens Live. Mm-hmm. And he like did special tapings during BravoCon. So I would go and watch the taping. So I was going from like 7 a.m. to midnight every day for 3 days.
That's why you had to go by yourself. No one could do that long.
Yeah, like I didn't want to have to deal with anyone being like, oh, I don't care about going. Okay, then stay home.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to go see this person. No, I don't care about this person.
I suggest you don't have children. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
You just stay home.
Yeah, that's probably best.
Oh, okay. And then, so you went to BravoCon. You got a really cool video.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to watch the video right now.
So this is, you got to film every show has, you know, an intro with all the housewives and they have a tagline, whatever. So they had an experience at BravoCon where you got to film your own intro and it had the voiceover of one of the actual intros.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Is that going to be your Christmas card this year?
Oh my God, a virtual Christmas card. I didn't even think about it.
It's perfect. Okay, let's see. Okay, what's this next picture?
Okay, so that's me with Teresa Giudice, and I'm wearing a shirt that says prostitution whore. You were fucking engaged 19 times. Okay, so let me reenact it. So she's sitting, this is season 1, okay? Or is it 2? No, I'm pretty sure it's 1. So they're at dinner. They're all trying to like pretend to be friends. And Danielle Staub insinuates that Teresa is stupid. And Teresa blows up and she says, you're a prostitution whore. You are fucking engaged 19 times. And then she flips the table.
Oh, that's when she flips the table.
Yeah. And that is when history was made.
Oh my gosh. That's the flip that was heard around the world.
Yes. So every day I wore a shirt with a different quote from The Real Housewife and I was able to get a picture with that housewife. Okay. And I planned that out in advance because they had an agenda for each day. I had my own Excel sheet for what events I was going to, what time.
Yeah, that degree from Georgia Tech is paying off.
Yeah, and what T-shirt I was wearing. And I had a backup T-shirt just in case, you know, somebody canceled or something. So I was ready.
You were ready. Okay, now quick question. Did you have all of these T-shirts custom made for you?
Etsy did.
Okay. This is amazing. Okay, I like the legwork you put into it and the pre-planning.
Yeah. I paid enough money where I needed to make it count.
Do I dare ask how much this was? Are your roommates going to hear and get upset?
My roommates are going to start charging me rent. My roommates are my parents. It was about $2,500 with taxes and fees and all of that for 3 days.
3 days, that's great. I mean, if you think about, like, if you go to see the Harry Potter musical in New York and you have to watch 2 of them back to back and you have a family of 4, it's probably about the same.
Yeah, see, no kids.
Yep. There you go. Spent it all on The Real Housewives. Okay, this next picture, what's this?
Next picture is they have like a museum at BravoCon. You walk through and there are all these iconic items, dresses, photographs, and then they have the photo, or I guess the reenactment props of Teresa flipping the table.
19 times. I see it.
19 times. And so there's a book on the table. I think it's called Cop Without a Badge. And like that's a book that really incites all of this violence is because this book is written partially about one of the other housewives, Danielle, and how she was a prostitute and she was involved in drug trafficking and all that stuff. Again, not scripted, because that book was written years before. So then, so I got to reenact it.
They picked winners to be on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's all of your pictures of Real Housewives. Okay. Should we talk now about, no, we don't even have I got to get the picture, but I actually got to perform for one of the Real Housewives of New York, Sonia Morgan. And I picked Sammy to come. I got to bring one person with me backstage. And who am I going to pick? The queen, the queen of Real Housewives. And you had a shirt that said
Sonia's intern.
Sonia's intern. She loved you, and you got her drinks.
Yeah.
And
I probably paid more in drinks than I would have if I had bought my own ticket that night. But I was so excited. I bought everyone that was in backstage. I bought a drink, and I cut to the front of the line, and I said, "This is for Sonia." And nobody questioned it. It was the most amazing night. Sonia was exactly how she is portrayed on the show. Very sweet, but very like all over the place, and very strict about what angles we could take a selfie from.
She was lovely. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that. I'm at the part of my life where my face is starting to move, and I need to have the pictures look right. Otherwise, I look like an old boot. But yeah, she was nice and lovely and fun and kind. And she handed me her phone and was like, "Here, follow yourself on Instagram from my account and like a bunch of stuff."
Yeah, I held her unlocked phone for probably an hour that night.
Is it full of cat pictures now? Cat dick pics.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I could be an insane person. I could call myself and then have your number. And I was very tempted to, but I'm a big drunk caller, and I knew it would happen.
It would only lead to problems.
Yeah. But you made it into my top 5 people for inviting me.
I made the list.
Yes.
It was a really fun night. I was glad to do it. And the audience, this is what I really liked about the RONY audience. Hey, using my new vocabulary words. They were there to laugh and have fun. Like, just hands up in the air, just like whatever. Everyone, we love everything. Mm-hmm. They might have been a little overserved on alcohol, but it was so much fun.
And you had a great set that night.
I did have a good day.
But
Thank you.
It was also like, it was very textbook Sonia. I mean, watching it from backstage, we could watch it on a screen, and the show producer the entire time was saying, "That's not what she's supposed to be doing right now. She's actually supposed to be over there. We talked about her not saying this." And she ad-libs she improvises the entire show. And I mean, the audience loved her.
Yeah, the people she hired, or whoever hired the people to put it together, they were fabulous. They were just phenomenal. And I want to say all their names right now, but I don't remember them. So maybe we could put them in post. They're all on my phone.
Yeah, all the words everyone's seeing right now, if you're watching the video, that's
Okay.
we said though, just imagine it.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So, what is your goal like going forward? Did you have a goal of being on?
So this is my goal,
or just flipping a table in your own life?
Oh, well, yes,
or both.
So I'd love to flip a table in real life. My dream is to get to the point where I'm not a cast member. I'm not a friend of, which is like not a full-time cast member. They're just kind of like there sometimes. I want to be friends with someone so that I'm on the screen long enough where they have to put a description of who I am at the bottom of the screen. Ooh. So they have to put like Sammy, friend of like this housewife. I never speak. It just pans over. That's all I want.
Are you in the background petting a cat? Like,
probably.
An evil character in a movie. Like secretly masterminding all of it.
Yes. But yeah, that's all I want. I don't want people digging into my past. I don't have anything that they can really dig up, but I just don't want it.
The drama.
Yeah, I don't want the drama. I probably am a person who can dish it but can't take it. And you can't be that person in the Real Housewives.
I can't dish it or take it. I've tried to do roasts for comedy here in Atlanta, and my stomach starts hurting, and I can't write any jokes that are mean.
Well, and I don't dish, but like I would have to do something, if I was on the Housewives. And I could definitely see that, like, if I got cast, then just everything about me would change and I would change into this horrible person. But also, I can't afford to be a Real Housewife. You've got to, like, do glam every day and wear all of these designer clothes. And, like, I just don't care. Mm-hmm. And I don't have the money.
I think it would be refreshing to have a real person on there that doesn't do all that every day.
And I would play Secret Drunk, which is a game where you're drinking, but you don't tell anybody you're drinking.
Oh, that's just called being an alcoholic. I can tell you how to do that.
But it's a fun twist. It's a fun twist. I bet a lot of the Real Housewives actually play that.
You can take Listerine bottles, the portable ones, and then you can fill them. This is a life hack. You can put vodka in them because vodka tastes okay with a little mint flavor. It's kind of mojito. I can do like a white rum. You can even do a dark rum. You can do a bourbon in the little Listerine bottle because you can never get all of the mint flavor out.
Oh,
and you can make it, that's like a mint julep. And then you can go on your airplane ride with your children and you don't feel so bad that you're asking for drinks.
Amy, how do you know how to do this?
A friend told me.
Nobody gets suspicious of you chugging Listerine?
I just want to have really good breath. You just secretly like pour it into your ice. They'll give you ice with your Coke. A little mint Coke bourbon. That's good. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
All right.
Well, sometimes depending on where you live, the bars don't open in the airport on Sunday mornings.
Oh yeah, the old South. But yes, that is my dream as far as Real Housewives. My more immediate, rational dream is to go to BravoCon again next year.
Where is it? Always in New York?
So this is only the second year they've done it. Both times have been in New York. I think they would keep it there. That's where Andy Cohen is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and he's like head honcho.
So Andy Cohen is straight?
No.
Okay.
Eye roll emoji. No.
I didn't know.
You think a straight man would be able to handle all of these women?
No, you need a lion tamer.
Yes. I don't know.
Tight pants.
I don't know what they're going to do when he doesn't want to host the reunions anymore. Maybe that's my goal.
Yeah, what made you think Andy Cohen was straight?
I don't know. I think he was talking to who's like a short hair, haired guy that's on CNN.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, about both of them having children at the same age. But Anderson Cooper's not straight.
Mm-hmm.
Gay people can have kids.
I know. And Anderson Cooper has a son, but I didn't know. Like,
Andy Cohen has 2 kids.
He has 2 kids. I thought I heard him say wife during his...
You definitely did not.
Okay. I know gay people have kids. They do musical theater.
Yeah. Who do you think makes all the musical theater kids?
That's one of my jokes is like, if you have 2 musical theater nerds get together, people think the kids turn out gay, but they don't. To get a gay baby, it takes 2 alt-right conservative Christians to get together.
I do have to say, though, I think I would do great on Real Housewives because I love drama and I can dish it out and take it also and just ramp up. So
see, if I was willing to completely separate myself from everyone I know, like discard my family, quit my job, all of it, and commit, I would be incredible.
You have to burn bridges.
Because I can stir the pot. I stir the pot in my professional work. In meetings, someone will say something and I'll be like, well, that's not the deadline that you gave last week. And I'll just like say it next to the person next to me, have them echo it, and then chaos. So like I would just bring that kind of energy to the Real Housewives. But again, I'd have to not care about anything. Because like, I mean, these housewives go after their families.
They burn all their bridges.
Yeah.
That would break my heart to burn my bridges with my family.
It sounds so good to me. I didn't realize that I don't want to watch this show. I want to be on it.
Yeah. But like you need to watch it to know what to expect, how to play it. You need to do your research.
I got plenty of skeletons too. They could find stuff on me, throw it at my face, and I'll just throw it right back. It'd be great. I
mean, one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills brought up on the show that one of the other housewives didn't carry her kids. She used a surrogate. And that housewife's kids did not know that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice.
So I think that was the first lawsuit
How do you keep that
against
secret?
Bravo.
Like, there's no pictures of mom pregnant. Was she like putting pillows under her like shirt and having pictures of herself fake pregnant. There was a lady in my village growing up.
Your village?
I grew up in a small town.
In what country?
In upstate New York. Okay. Really near Canada. There's provinces there. It counts. And she would walk around town with a pillow under her tummy pretending she was pregnant, but she was crazy. We called her Crazy Bridget.
Okay, well that's not exactly how it played out on The Real Housewives, but so that was pretty good. So that was the first lawsuit. So it was pulled out of all filming, any reference of
surrogacy.
Yeah. And then on the reunion, they still were not allowed to talk about it, and that housewife did not show up to the reunion, which is like a big deal. And so she broke her contract with Bravo, and she was not on.
What if like they dig something up about your background and it's like you're adopted, and you're like, yes, I knew it.
I mean, I've always had a hunch that I was adopted, so I would just be like, confirmed. But yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, I see. I'm not ready for that to happen. I like to live in my bubble. I don't want anyone bursting my bubble.
Yeah. I think I'm so uptight, waspy, like big emotions at the dinner table make my stomach hurt, makes me nervous, makes my armpits sweat. Well, change the subject. Like,
I also think you're too wealthy to be a Real Housewife.
But I didn't grow up like this.
No, I know, but like there's maybe a handful of Real Housewives that actually have real serious money.
I get paid $20 to do 10-minute comedy sets twice a week. So I am rolling in it.
Okay, and then one more example of it being real. So there was a Real Housewives of DC for one season, and one of the big reasons that it got canceled is because one of the housewives and her husband crashed Obama's first state dinner in 2009.
Oh, I saw this on the news.
Yes, all the news, they just walked in and they posed for photos, and then they just went to the state dinner, and then later they found out, they were like, who the hell are these people? They weren't on the list.
Oh my God.
So that was like the end of that season. I think that could have had some potential.
Okay,
R.I.P.
Let's talk about the next thing you are.
The next thing I'm nerdy for.
Yeah.
Cats.
All right, we got to take a look at your cat and tell us like the story of your living arrangements. Oh, okay. Here's the kitty.
This is Tig. I adopted her when she was 9 years old from the Atlanta Humane Society, a day after my family cat Shadow was put down after being run over by my mom.
Ooh, rough.
Awkward.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
It was rough having your number 2 best friend murder your number 1 best friend. But so we went to the Humane Society. We adopted her. They were like, she's got a heart murmur. I said, no problem. We adopted her, took her to the vet, and they said, oh, by the way, she's also got herpes. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess I can't take her back now. So I just have this like cat with herpes, which is actually very common in cats. It's not a big deal. You don't have to do anything for it. Anyway.
She doesn't look like she has any blemishes.
Yeah, no blemishes. You can't tell.
Was it just respiratory stuff for a cat? Herpes?
Yeah.
Is it on her pussy?
Somebody asked me if you could tell by looking at her cat vagina, and I was like, I don't know, and I'm not willing to find out.
You have to ask consent. You have to ask for cat scent.
Well, and she'll sometimes get like, yeah, it's mostly respiratory infections and like sneezing, and she'll get like runny eyes and stuff like that if she's stressed.
Oh.
So she did have a herpes flare up when we first adopted her, but she's awesome. She turned 15 this year. Her birthday is the day after mine, and that was what was on the paperwork. So we threw her a little party. So this picture is of her on her actual birthday. We threw her a party a couple weeks before because her birthday falls over Memorial Day weekend. People are out of town. I knew she wouldn't get the turnout that she deserves.
She needs a good turnout. We don't want her feelings hurt.
And this is her fresh out of a vet appointment.
Did she wear that to the vet?
No, but what thankfully this photo is hiding is essentially her butt exploded.
Oh. Oh dear.
It was like a ruptured anal gland. I don't know if we want this on the podcast. But.
This is okay. Your herpes cat had a
ruptured anal gland.
Is she what's she going through?
Like, she, just every day.
Life's hard, y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, gotta live it.
She's got to work. She's got to make those dollar bills. Do it the hard way.
So because she's getting older, her kidneys are shutting down. All of these things. I knew I wanted to have a big birthday party for her, so I did throw her a quinceañera.
You're such a good mom. I take it back. You can have children.
Thank you.
You're such a good mom.
I had Tig themed everything.
Tig's the cat.
Tig's the cat, yes. I had a merchandise table. So when people walked in, they could get a Tig t-shirt. They could get buttons. There were like cupcake toppers. What else did I have? Headbands. All of stuff. I spent more money on this birthday than I've ever spent on a birthday for myself.
Oh.
And there's a photo of at the party.
And she was alive to remember it.
Yes. We thought for a second it was going to have to be a what's it
funeral?
Called? Not, like a celebration of life.
Oh, yeah.
Party, but she turned around.
She did. Yeah. You took her to the vet that morning before the party.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be insensitive, but like, what can you do to make sure she makes it through the next 24 hours at least?
She's a real chill cat. Like, she came out like,
well, yeah,
I'm not dead yet, and I've got a hat on.
She only made a brief appearance at the actual party.
I gotta stay alive. Sammy's holding on by a thread.
I tried to make her Instagram famous, but there's a stigma against feline herpes that we try to break down.
Yeah, that's terrible. And so you live with your cat and your roommates.
I live with my cat and my roommates. My roommates are an older couple that gave birth to me. They are my mom and dad. I, after college, moved back in with them briefly, then moved into apartments with friends. All my friends kept getting engaged. Had a touch of a mental breakdown, and I moved back in with my parents.
Yay!
People assume it's pandemic related why I moved back home. Sometimes I just let them think that. But yeah, so we all live there, and my parents have a dog, so we all live happily ever after. And taking care of Tig is a full-time job. It is not my only job, but I have to give her a laxative every 12 hours. She's got to have special food.
Oh my
Litter
God.
box has to be cleaned immediately.
Full-time stay-at-home cat mom.
But she's my princess.
She's your princess. It's the best job in the world.
All right, Amy. Now I want to know, what are you nerdy for?
Okay, so I feel so nervous right now. I feel like I'm exposing my inner nerdy secrets. I'm nerdy for costumes. I'm nerdy for living in a fantasy world where I'm wearing costumes and I can time travel. The Outlander is a game changer for me. Bridgerton. I
just want to say it's not a very well kept secret as we are sitting in your costume closet.
I think maybe we should get my wigs out later. Yes, I do. Part of it is when you get dressed in an outfit from a different period, you change. Even like if I'm not feeling like an extrovert, which I am, and I have to go do a set, perform stand-up comedy somewhere, and I start putting on my makeup and like do like by the time I pencil in my eyebrows, I'm like, here she is. I'm back. Let's go have fun. I think you can change your mood with what you're wearing. Mm-hmm. And then I started I got really excited about musical theater when I was in middle school and then in high school, and I did some of it in college. And then I got very heavily into Halloween with costumes.
Hell yeah.
And luckily my husband was game for that because he's a nerd too. And that's where because he's a science nerd and I am a theater nerd, and that's where like the centers of our Venn diagram crossover is like Dragon Con. It's like
yes.
I have a Luke Skywalker outfit, and I'm thinking, I have lightsabers left over from last Halloween. And we connect on that, and so we got really into our Halloween parties. Yeah, so we really got into Halloween costumes. especially when our children are young and I was still hot and my body was tight.
You are so ugly now.
It's a problem.
Shame.
And so yeah, we would like really, and my husband's always been ripped. And so he would like, he'll do a costume where he has his chest out. He's done a satyr and with like horns we glued onto his head with.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fabulous. He won a costume contest with that one. And then we'd throw Halloween parties, and he was so good at the mechanics. He's like, for that amount of people, we need to have 2 bars, Amy, not 1 bar. I'm like, yes,
Amen.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen. So I'm gonna show you a picture of one of my favorite costumes. Here it is. Okay, this is me.
Oh wow.
Dressed as a flight attendant from the 70s.
Oh my gosh.
Joel, I wish you could see this.
I see it in post.
Do you see it in post?
I see it in post.
Okay, it's very jazz hands. So
I would love to fly that plane
girl,
that you're on.
This is because I remember seeing this from you did a comedy show,
this
right?
is for the comedy show. Yeah.
With Jose.
Yes, with Jose. So when I started doing stand-up comedy, I wanted to produce my own show. And I didn't want to do it alone. So I'm like, Jose, you're going to have to do this with me. And he's like, okay. And we can't just have a comedy show because it's me. There has to be a theme. Every birthday party I've had for the last 10 years has had a theme. So the theme of the comedy show was first class comedy. And so we had to dress as flight attendants. And then we had a photo shoot in advance to make the pictures for the promo, which literally no comedy show has ever done. It's usually like a grainy picture of the comic on some sort of already prefabbed template they got off the internet. I was like, we're doing this homework. So this is a picture. The next picture is of Jose and me. Jose's in drag. And... He's better at makeup than I am. Do you see his beautiful gold eyeshadow?
And he's better at posing.
He is. No, he is. He's way more sassy. He brings the sass and the frass. And then here's a picture of us performing.
Oh my gosh.
At the Basement Theater, R.I.P. Basement Theater. We had such a good night. We handed out Cheez-It crackers. You can see the audience member in the left-hand side. Little bags of Cheez-It crackers and little glasses of champagne because it was first class and international. You can get champagne. And for a comedy show, for a little room that seated 50 people, probably 30 if the government was going to be involved. And
I would say, the only thing I'm a little disappointed at, where are the Biscoff cookies?
Those are, you can't buy those anywhere.
Not with that attitude.
I went to a party in Midtown and there was a flight attendant. He brought Biscoff cupcakes and he had taken all the Biscoff cookies, ground them up, made cupcakes, and then had them sticking out the tops too.
Oh dang.
Oh, heaven.
You can buy anything online. I had a friend who got kicked out of private school because he mass ordered communion wafers and handed them out at school.
Why is that? Got kicked out of school for wafers?
It's unholy.
I know. It's just like people are like, Amy, what's it like living in Atlanta? I'm like, it's amazing. I've got Biscoff coming out the eye holes. That's terrible. That poor kid. Oh my gosh. Okay,
he's fine.
So this next one is a picture of I like dressing in the 1950s outfits. And this is a video of me at a Christmas show at the Basement Theater doing stand-up. And this is like right after the Mrs. Maisel became popular. And I was trying, this is me actually. I would have done this even without Maisel. And
I think you did it 10 minutes ago coming up the stairs.
My armpits are sweating watching this. It's so embarrassing. It's like, there's a thing where you get married and it's like looking in a mirror every day and you have to like just your partner reflects who you are back to your face. That's not true. Looking at yourself every day is recording your comedy sets and then having to watch them so you can get better. And I'd rather stick a fork in my eye.
Finding out what your friends and family have been listening to, like your voice for your entire life, is traumatizing.
It's so hard. For like the first 6 months I was doing stand-up, I got a mic and an amp. I put it in the living room. And I just like every day you have to just talk into this thing and get used to your like squeaky upstate New York voice. My kids loved it though. My children love their own voices, it turns out. Okay. Okay. So another fun thing about my life is that my birthday is on December 24th. So it's Christmas Eve. And
it's too bad you're Jewish.
I know, right? Mazel tov. That would have actually been better. My grandfather had the same birthday.
Oh.
What are the chances? I'm an only child. And then my grandfather, like, what's...
Only one shot, yeah.
Yeah, pew. Right out there, Christmas Eve. He was born on Christmas Eve. And every Christmas I would go... We'd all get together at his house. I'd sit on his lap. We'd blow out the candles together. The whole family came together. It was actually magical. Yeah. People would be like, oh, does it suck having your birthday on Christmas Eve? I'm like, no, because my grandmother, she was a rock star, and my parents, like, they all made it really special. Now, I'm an adult. Everyone's busy on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. My grandfather's dead. He should be, though, because he'd be like 130. That'd be creepy.
That's a lot.
He'd be like a vampire. But I do try to have a theme party every year. This is a picture of me being a French person. I have a beret and a mustache.
What was the theme?
France.
Oh,
you got to just do like a nice, easy theme. This is what we're learning, boys and girls. We have to do a theme that's not offensive to any cultures. Be careful. It's a slippery slope. Next year we're doing Sweden. Healthcare for everyone who comes to the party.
Oh man.
And fish oil. There's a moment at this party where I get the French flag and I try to recreate Les Mis. And
that's what that is?
Have you seen Les Mis?
Yeah.
So
and I didn't put that together.
Shut up.
Your face just now.
There's a scene in Les Mis where there's a barricade. The barricade. Storm the barricade. And there's a child with a flag. And they're all dancing back and forth. Like, do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? Uh-huh. And the flag's waving. And I got a hold of a flag and had my beret on.
Yep.
And for some reason, a 1950s dress that I bought on Amazon. And had to recreate the barricade. See, you wave and you hop. Uh-huh. You wave and you hop, and then you get shot later. It's a dark, dark play. We saw it with I took our kids to see Les Mis at the Fox Theater, and on the way home, we were so depressed. Like the whole family was like, that musical we just saw, the theme is everyone dies. And I'm like, yeah, that's life. Welcome to France.
I mean, my family used to do the whole like group musical theater outings. And then the last one that we did as a family was my immediate family and my grandparents. And we went to see Book of Mormon.
Oh.
And every time they said clitoris, my dad died a little bit inside. Oh, no. So that was the last play we all went to together.
Oh, I had the complete opposite experience with my family. I took my parents and my middle school age children, and we all died laughing.
Oh, I had a great time.
It's one of my best memories.
Yeah.
And my mom was crying. My family, I think, is more dirty than your father.
Yes.
Bless his heart. Is that the right use of that sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I love dressing up. I have a lot of different costumes. And I like to have parties with costumes. Every time my husband and I have a big party, like a 40th birthday party, or I'm not going to say how old I am. We keep having a theme. That way it's like, I don't know. It feels less pressure to be like, oh, do I have to dress up or dress down? No, you have to dress like a moron. Yeah. Everyone's on the same page here. We're all dressed like morons. It kind of takes everything down a peg. And it's just so silly. I want to live in a fantasy. I really do. Because life is boring.
You do you, boo-boo.
Thank you. And this close to being an adult Disney person. It's a problem. It's the next step of nerddom. The next step after that is getting a stroller and pushing a small dog around in it.
Ooh. I can't let my mom listen to this episode.
No. That's a good idea there. You're just making sure the dog has a good place to stay, you know? I don't think that's like super nerdy.
No, I mean, my mom used to push our old dog around in a stroller at a park, and so many people would stop and say, oh, the baby, and then be like, ah!
It's Chewbacca.
Yeah. So I would say Disney adult is nerdier than stroller, but it's also coming from someone who, like, I'm considering getting a bubble backpack for my cat.
Well, your cat is a special, special baby.
And she deserves to see the world.
She does. She's on her last leg. Send her to Mars. Call Elon Musk. Let's start a campaign.
What is it? It's only like $400,000 or something. Isn't he sending people up there? I don't know.
Right? Okay. So my next... I'm talking so much you don't even have a chance to ask me questions, and that's kind of me. I think it's too much.
No, not
is
enough.
What my husband says sometimes. So my next theme goal is like a Bridgerton party.
You haven't had one?
No. I've been to the Bridgerton experience.
Okay.
In Atlanta. I have pictures of that. But first, I want to talk about, before Bridgerton came out, I'm kind of like OG Jane Austen. Like, I was cool before cool was cool. I'm not cool. I went on Etsy and I found a painter in Marietta or Alpharetta. I always get those two confused. And he would paint your face or your portrait. And I was like, can you paint my husband's face into Mr. Darcy's body? Do you know who Mr. Darcy is, young one?
I know he's on Bridgerton.
Padawan. He's not on Bridgerton.
Then no, I don't know who he is.
Oh, no.
I know who Mr. Darcy is.
You know who Mr. Darcy is. Okay. So Mr. Darcy's a Jane Austen character.
Okay, I went to a failing public school, so
I just know all of this because I watch movies.
Oh.
I can't read.
I've just dated a lot of musical theater people. That's why I know it.
Oh, so I call my husband Mr. Darcy because he's loyal, he's smart, he's practical, and he gets the job done. And sometimes at parties, he doesn't want to stay, he wants to go home, which is Mr. Darcy's energy.
That's all of us. That's me.
That's you, right? Yeah, so he's an introvert, but he's a solid man. And so I said, can you please paint my husband as Mr. Darcy? And this was going to be just a little present to myself. They're like, oh, is it for your husband? I'm like, no, he doesn't need to know about any of this. He will be very embarrassed. And I had it painted, and we decided to put his hair he had when he was 20 onto his 45-year-old body. And then I sent a picture of like an army captain or something from the time period, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
How did your husband react to it?
He was like, huh? What? Why? And then I showed it to my friend Jose, and he said, Amy, you've got to get one made of yourself.
I agree.
So fast forward 6 months later, I reach out to the guy. I'm like, can I get one made of me that matches? So we have like matching portraits. And he's like, sure. I'm like, well, I got to take a picture. I got my hair done. I gave him back the original painting so he could like match the scale and everything. And this one is, that's not mine. That's mine.
Gorgeous.
This is me. I actually have those pearls. That was a wedding present. And I actually had the flowers in my hair, but the dress, he just stole that from the internet, from a real portrait from that time period.
Love it.
So yeah, that's my Jane Austen matching Mr. Darcy, and Lizzie would be my name. But Lizzie in the actual, I'm going deep on this. And Jane Austen is a nerd. She's a big reader. She's terrible at playing the piano. I'm terrible at playing the piano, and I can't read. So I don't know what I bring to the table, but it's sass and frass. So yeah, then Bridgerton comes out. I at first was like, why are all these costumes shiny? It looks like the designer, like the clothing, the designer was given $1 million gift certificate to Claire's boutique at the mall, and she was a 14-year-old girl. She's like, oh my God, I can totally do this. Everything's going to be plastic and shiny. And so, yeah, that's what I can't so fast forward.
So it's not how you imagined.
Fast forward, it's during the pandemic. I'm drinking too much. I drink a lot every night. I'm so lonely. I'm watching Bridgerton. And they're really good at making it romantic on Bridgerton. Just like hours and hours of like longing looks and like a gloved hand, Grace like touching the back of another gloved hand. And I'm like, I'm going to slide off the sofa. Oh my God. So my friend Daniel and Samir are like, do you want to go to the Bridgerton experience? Oh no, I think I bought tickets. This is what I'm throwing them under the bus. It was me. I did it. I saw it come up and I was like, you only live once.
Yep.
And the pandemic had us all locked up. And so I bought a bunch of Bridgerton tickets and then I started talking to friends. You can't just start off with that. You can't start off strong with like, do you like Bridgerton? Do you want to come to my party? You have to be cool. And they wanted to come. So we all went together.
Fun.
And we had they of course brought it because they are fantastic. So I put white plumes in my hair, several, to mean that I'm a married woman, not just one.
Is it is that the feather thing?
Jesus Christ. Get out of my costume room. A plume, it's an ostrich plume. And if you have multiple, and I could be wrong, but I drank a lot when I was watching the show. Multiple means you're married, and one means you're hot to trot, come get this hot ass.
All right.
I'm paraphrasing, but literally I think that's what that means. And they had all these like photograph opportunities, and I'm there with JD and Samir and Daniel, and they all bought these like costumes on the internet, and I have another picture of that which I'm not showing right now. And it was so much fun, but I want to have this party at home. I want to have like a Jane Austen Bridgerton party at home, and I want it to be all candlelight. This is a real fire hazard.
Love it.
And everyone dresses up, and we have music that's not amplified. Like it's all just like man-made music. And maybe we roll up the carpets, and it's like on the wood floorboards of the house, and you can hear people's like leather shoes clapping on the surface. And there's little treats you eat, and like champagne coupes and gloves. And then my husband and I have a nice long hug. Wink.
So when do you want to have this party?
I don't know. I have to have like the I have to have the energy to do it. So probably right after the next pandemic, when I'm like home and sad. No,
right after the next. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be. I'm kind of busy right now. I feel like it's the holiday season, so I don't have room in my heart for creative planning.
But it needs to be, I would say it needs to be a cooler month if you're asking people to do gloves and.
I completely agree. February. Yeah. February is my depression month. Anyone else?
Amen. Valentine's Day? Who needs it?
Valentine's Day can suck my D.
Not to brag, I get depressed all year round.
Ayo! Good for you.
We love a mentally ill king.
I thought I was really depressed in my 20s, and I was like, maybe it's birth control. And then now I get depressed like 3 days out of a month, and I can track it. And I'm like, oh, hormones be bad. And then I'm like, oh, I drank too much last week. Now I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun game.
So how do you think you got into costumes?
I was alone as a child in the countryside. And I was
in your village?
In my village. It says the village of Geneseo when you drive in. That's where I get it from. It says the Hamlet of Geneseo when you drive in. I was just so alone, and I was watching like musicals because that's what was on television. We didn't have cable. And so I was just out in the forest singing to my dogs, having picnics with them, dressing them up, making them do musicals with me. It's probably dog abuse. Yeah. I'm a good time. This is why I feel like stand-up comedy is good for me, because they're like, oh, it's a conversation. No, you're talking to yourself on stage for an hour at a time. Oh, only an hour? Bring it.
Okay, so is your next party going to be a Bridgerton party? Or do you think, okay, you're not going to have kind of like a practice one, get back into the groove?
Oh, no.
No. Okay, yeah.
I don't need to practice anything.
I know.
I will be taking anyone's applications for being hired as a footman.
What is a footman?
A hot guy who can carry a lot of silver.
Why
Like
is
a
he called
tea tray.
a footman?
I don't know, because he got a foot long.
Oh.
I don't think you're allowed to ask that in the interview process.
You know, you're right. It's
But
not.
maybe- but
You
who
can ask
knows,
them to wear
though?
gray sweatpants.
Yeah.
It's not. Oh, gross. No, just a light khaki britches pants.
Love it.
How about just assless chaps?
Uh-huh. Is that on theme?
No, that's very Prince.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my costumes. That's my Bridgerton. That's what I'm the most nerdy about right now.
What are your aspirations with this? Besides, I mean, beyond your Bridgerton party.
Okay, so this is my aspirations. Please, if anyone has this contact, I want someone who can make costumes, like hand make a costume or retrofit something you buy so it fits me perfectly, like has like the not the boosty, like the corset and the ties and the stays and the skirting, and like knows a friend that can do the wig. I want to do all of that, and like I want to do the 1600s, the 1700s, 1800s. Yes, please.
Sonia Morgan did that in one of the seasons of Real Housewives.
Shut up.
Yeah, reach out to her. It all comes back to Real Housewives.
All comes back to Real Housewives. I think that's the perfect thing to go out on. Okay. Thank you so much. That was really fun. Thank you, Sammy Eastwood. I'm Amy Brown. I do comedy, amybrown.com, at Amy Brown Comedy everywhere. How about you?
At SK Eastwood is not just comedy, but cat content.
Naughty kitty. Joel, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, since this is a nerd show, I actually produce another podcast that I am the GM and host of called Oddity Roadshow. It's an actual play podcast using the Monster of the Week system. It's like a horror comedy that just dropped in November of 2022. And then I have a completely finished podcast called Critical Bits, which is also an actual play podcast, where it's a superhero comedy podcast where we play a role-playing game called Mass. So you can check out Critical Bits or Oddity Roadshow.
So Critical Bits is superheroes, like comics.
So so it's like comic kind of based off. So actual play podcast, it's where we're just playing like tabletop games. The most familiar one is Dungeons and Dragons. For Critical Bits, we use a game called Mask, which is about teen superheroes. So I ran that for 4 years. There's a full 94 episode run with a bunch of bonus episodes out. And then Oddity Roadshow is we're using the game Monster of the Week, which is very similar to like Buffy, X-Files stuff. And this one's more of a comedy horror. Then that one just started dropping, so you can get in the ground floor of it.
I think for making a nerd comedy, we have the best producer ever.
Absolutely.
Very, very nerdy.
You just lit up the board of all the comedy, all of the nerd.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
My gynecologist handles my Critical Bits.
Heyo. My husband does mine. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.